The zone changes at all times. After each mission, a new path opens up and another one closes. Very few constant paths remain, known only by the most dedicated of stalkers, and kept mostly in secret. But the secret can't be kept forever. Anyway, Stalker Secret Trails, an extremely old mod that changed everything you know about the zone. Free passage everywhere? Hell no! The zone has its own rules and you must abide to it. The mod takes place in the mythical year of 2011 where nothing at all happened, a time before the zone was stable, as if it ever was. Paths changed daily, stalkers disappeared without a trace and the grenades were a pain in the ass. Like most mods, it has an old version that refused to work and an OGSR port that somewhat works for the most part, and despite the old version's really charming looks, the OGSR one just kicks it out of the parks with a colorful style and significantly less crashes. But never zero. The atmosphere and the feel of the mod is really good, especially during rain where puddles form, and the mod totally nails the part where the laws of physics don't apply in the zone. On top of that, night vision might be one of the prettiest, at least the most expensive one, and I played a solid chunk of the game at night, which I usually avoid. Oh, and there is like animations, which is cool, I guess. No. The arsenal of weapons in the mod is quite rich, with quality models of multiple origins, but I'd like to go a bit more in depth. Movement, for example, feels really good, and every mod that allows me to airstrike a dog with a shotgun is instantly good in my books. Another thing that I love is the feel of the pistols. I usually avoid shitty ones, but here they just feel alive, and are actually useful unlike most sub mods where they just do 3 damage, that's it. SMGs and rifles feel similar and are just good. The recoil exists and it's not too bad to control, usually leading to some really cool gunfights, except if the aim is hand grenade. There is also snipers. Yeah, they kinda suck. Actually, snipers are quite good against mutants. But against armored stalkers there is just not enough armor piercing ammo around the zone to use them properly. You're better off just using the ASO for everything because it's just broken and there's bullets for it everywhere. The AI is also a bit special. Mutants are blind and most stalkers are direct descendants of
Simo Häyhä.
Keep in mind that I only play on Master, so pain is to be expected. The addition of a few new mutants is seen in the mod, including some barrel of thing. Armenians. Monster Energy Snorks. Horrible it... no thanks. Most mutants have been given a new sound as well, making them truly horrifying. Besides all the nightmares you're going to get, it's actually quite fun to fight mutants in this game. The weapon stats themselves have been revamped as well, with guns and ammo having a Q rate instead of just damage, which is just damage but different. On Master, most enemies one-shot you, while they can tank several shots if you're not accounting for their type of armor. Over penetration might be a thing, but I just know that AP kills Exos and everything kills you. What about the story, you may ask? Please ask. Well, first we need to make it clear that this being a Stalker sub-style mod, it has a lot of story. Like a lot. You start with one goal before it branches out to 2 more, and from it several gazillion more, and before you know it you're helping the entire zone to wipe their ass. Let's hit it from the start now. You play as S.T.A.L.K.E.R, because of course you do, who wakes up in a bus in the middle of Dead City next to an old man named Forrester. S.T.A.L.K.E.R is a bit confused of his situation as he was traveling with a guide and his brother called Captain to Dead City when something happened and now he is lost with no memories. Because of course. Forrester decides to help S.T.A.L.K.E.R escape Dead City and shelter him in his hut in the middle of the forest. There, S.T.A.L.K.E.R learns that Forrester has met his brother the same way and that he left the hut with a bunch of experienced stalkers around 2 years ago. S.T.A.L.K.E.R sets out to find his brother, but first he must help the old man and meet up with the scientists from Yantar to get medicine because Forrester's health is rapidly deteriorating. Not good. The beginning is quite a slow burner, but it ramps up later. S.T.A.L.K.E.R, with the help of Vasiliev, goes through his first secret trail. From a hole under a swamp he reaches Yantar and grabs the medicine for Forrester. Yantar is currently under the protection of Clear Sky, making them far less secretive than they were canonically. After assisting Forrester, S.T.A.L.K.E.R ventures out to Dead City to seek a way out. There he meets the Wanderers, a faction that simply wanders the zone for their personal goals, and so he meets their leader, a woman! Truly horrifying. They offer a way to prevent in exchange for handling a neighbor problem. At which point you figure out how brutal the mutant combat is, and I love it! After completing it, Leia disrespects you. then kindly gives you the way out to Pripyat through the sewers of that city. But in Pripyat, something happens. S.T.A.L.K.E.R wakes up in a bus again, with no gear on him. A man stands before him, introducing himself as Marvin, and S.T.A.L.K.E.R as an amnesiac again. Marvin takes advantage of this and assimilates S.T.A.L.K.E.R into the Brotherhood. After being brainwashed by the monolith, S.T.A.L.K.E.R starts being a cog in the machine, doing their dirty work, killing both man and beast. And in return they provide him with training, led by Marvin himself. Eventually, S.T.A.L.K.E.R runs into a man named S.T.A.L.K.E.R, who manages to bring him back to his senses, and thanks to that, S.T.A.L.K.E.R meets Ghost and teams up with him to find a way out of the city. But first, he must steal documents from the monolith Scout Center. After finding the documents, S.T.A.L.K.E.R fights his way out, and is then escorted by Fang out of Pripyat towards the swamps. In the swamps, S.T.A.L.K.E.R meets a man, a doctor, and his patients. After assisting both the Doctor and the Wanderers around the swamp, S.T.A.L.K.E.R is shown a way out of the swamps back to the forest. There he makes a stop to help Forrester and to catch up with him. Unfortunately, there is no trace of the brother yet. S.T.A.L.K.E.R then meets up with a group of hunters that show him the way out of the forest towards the army warehouses, where he will continue his search. After reaching the army warehouses, S.T.A.L.K.E.R finds Łukasz and his group Freedom. They request help from S.T.A.L.K.E.R to attack the army base, and S.T.A.L.K.E.R agrees, totally not causing a time paradox because nothing else happened in 2011, remember? After a rough fight, S.T.A.L.K.E.R and Łukasz succeed. Unfortunately, Łukasz can't help S.T.A.L.K.E.R with his brother, so S.T.A.L.K.E.R travels south, and ends up in the Rostock factory that is currently occupied by bandits, who allow him to pass for a fee. There he meets with a barman named Borov, who instantly recognizes S.T.A.L.K.E.R. Apparently he has made a name for himself. Borov suggests S.T.A.L.K.E.R speaks to a man named Earl. Earl needs S.T.A.L.K.E.R for a specific task. He has managed to trail a large amount of mercenary supplies that were transported by helicopters that end up being shot down, and S.T.A.L.K.E.'s job is to find the supplies that remain. This is where the mod opens up with the more weird paths of exploration. The first being in an area out of bounds near the bar. Letting you reach these bizarre places feels quite eerie when you think about it. There is nothing here. You should not really be here. That aside, S.T.A.L.K.E.R fights his way through a horde of snorks and retrieves the cache and goes back... Okay, not that way. S.T.A.L.K.E.R retrieves the cache and comes back the way he came from, then gives the cache to Earl, who has more mercenary caches for him. They only had guns, nothing interesting, so I went south towards the cordon where I met Tolik. Unfortunately, the dialogue seems to be broken. I also don't remember Cordon being this dangerous with chimeras and bloodsuckers literally everywhere. It's just a war zone, and Tolik's pedestrian pace doesn't really help. At least none of the mutants seem to react to NPCs, but holy shit! I literally went away from my computer and Tolik is still walking and I still need to escort him to Wolf. Well, with Wolf you assemble a group of stalkers and attack the Rookie Village in order to save it from bandits that occupy it. In the basement of the Rookie Village is Barkeep. The dialogue is broken and I have no idea, but I gotta meet some Varangian guy now. With no idea where to find him, I went to Dark Valley where I met Duty in the southern farm, and Voronin on a quest. So I followed him around and apparently he had aggroed 2-3 bandits across the map. After that I was able to talk with him. S.T.A.L.K.E.R still looking for his brother may have finally found him, as Voronin says that Captain is in the camp. So I rushed back, and to nobody's surprise I found Captain Sobolev. S.T.A.L.K.E.R then proceeds to have a mental breakdown. Captain Sobolev still offers help. A friend of his had guided Captain and a man by the name Fury Semetsky to the sarcophagus. Yuri appears to be different, a stalker who seems to be unable to die. Messages of his death appear, but he keeps coming back. And one man has met this phantom, his name being Mohammed. Sobolev suggests that S.T.A.L.K.E.R finds this man, as he may be able to give a trail in finding his brother. S.T.A.L.K.E.R then heads back to Cordon, where I somehow ended up on a quest where I need to go to a place called the Peacekeeper Corps, and deliver a message to Sidrovich, where a faction of UN Peacekeeper resides. In a basement in a village near the corpse, S.T.A.L.K.E.R meets Sidrovich and questions him about his brother. Sidrovich doesn't seem to know Captain, but according to Barkeep he knows Muhammad, and apparently he was here 2 days ago. Sid promises to try to help if you help him back, and S.T.A.L.K.E.R does that by meeting with General Smith of the Peacekeepers and helping him secure the main base from a mutant infestation. After that, Sidrovich does his part of the deal. A stalker is to meet with Muhammad somewhere in that city, so S.T.A.L.K.E.R must go there now. Unfortunately, I lost a bit of footage for the next part, only the highest quality on the channel. On the way to the swamps to Pripyat, Marvin captures S.T.A.L.K.E.R again, this time giving him a simple order, to kill S.T.A.L.K.E.R. S.T.A.L.K.E.R decides not to follow his games and instead warns S.T.A.L.K.E.R, who arms S.T.A.L.K.E.R with a toss with bullshit witchcraft bullets that can kill wizards, actual quote from the mod, and then one-taps Marvin. After this pointless yet meaningful venture, I was a bit lost and went back to Earl, who now needs me to assist his partner, named Caesar, with another mercenary cache in Yantar. On the way there, you get jump scared by controllers. Really spooky. Next cache Caesar talks about is again out of bounds in a radioactive nothingness that surrounds the Yantar plant. So I went there and found it without much issue. Why is all of this important? After Roro checks out the documents he shares that they contain information on the installation that influences the psyche, and the mercenaries are the ones that are preparing to take over the radar and install it there. Roro suggests that S.T.A.L.K.E.R takes this info to Fang. S.T.A.L.K.E.R agrees but asks if Roro knows anything about reaching that city, and Roro knows a man that knows. Swibov from Clear Sky. He has lost a member of his group and is desperate to send someone to that city to find him. Roro also drops this huge Clear Sky drama. Apparently Clear Sky used to be own group known as C-Consciousness and protected the scientists in Yantra. But internal conflict because of the two sisters Leiwa and Karina erupted due to ideological beliefs and the faction split in two. Leiwa left Clear Sky and formed the Wanderers while Karina stayed with Clear Sky. All this stupid drama aside, S.T.A.L.K.E.R went to Swibov and offered his help in the matter. And somewhere between his thirsting for Karina, Swibov told S.T.A.L.K.E.R the way to that city. There S.T.A.L.K.E.R meets up with Leiwa that mentions that Karina last headed to the forest with a guide. So S.T.A.L.K.E.R heads out to the forest looking for Karina and finds her, but something is off. Two babushkas are blocking her way out. S.T.A.L.K.E.R approaches one of them and they're just creepy, and they are offering her services for 3000 rubles. But S.T.A.L.K.E.R doesn't catch the bait. Turns out it was controllers in disguise. After dealing with them, S.T.A.L.K.E.R meets up with Karina and explains why he is here. And calls her ass nice, because of course he fucking did. Karina tells S.T.A.L.K.E.R that the guide is dead, but on his PDA is the secret trail out, so we headed out and I knew I had to keep my scope on her. After wandering the forest and finding the PDA, we headed to the secret trail that leads out into the swamps. There, Karina decides to stay with the doctor, and the most amazing part of the story happens when there is a dog! There is a fucking dog! And Doctor's dog leads S.T.A.L.K.E.R out of the swamps. Truly a dog moment! Amazing! This is why I do this. S.T.A.L.K.E.R ends up in that city, but the meeting with Muhammad has already concluded. He meets the other stalker, Fima, who says he informed Muhammad, so he will eventually find S.T.A.L.K.E.R. By now I was completely lost and wandered for hours before I met a stalker by the name of Pathfinder. His quests are fetchy, but he was important to continue the story apparently. I met with Doki Nagor from Underground, who advised the S.T.A.L.K.E.R Fang, Ghost and Felcher should create a hideout underground. But who cares about that bullshit? I then went back to Barkeep, who had a master plan. Together with Skamerovich they plan to move up the business in the zone. Barkeep together with Duty takes over the bar from the bandits, and Sidrovich moves into the cordon bunker. S.T.A.L.K.E.R then meets with Sidrovich in the bunker, and has a bit of a word soup with him. After that, Muhammad appears.
Здравствуй, Stalker.
S.T.A.L.K.E.R tries his luck asking about Captain, and finally someone helps. Yuri Semetsky should be in the sarcophagus, and he's the only man who can help find the brother. Before that, S.T.A.L.K.E.R clears out the bar from bandits and escorts Barkeep in, with Borov swiftly escaping. S.T.A.L.K.E.R then finally meets up with Fang, who confirms that the mercenaries are planning to cut off Pripyat from the rest of the zone, and that S.T.A.L.K.E.R must urgently meet Doc so he can give him a fetch quest. What the fuck? And it's not like I did it legit because the game only ever spawned 6 cats and I throw away the tails, so I had to cheat 3 of them. And the next task for Felcher was shit too, just finding some backpack. And by the way, Leo decides to leave the zone for the 3 people that actually care. Now, after forever, we finally reach the juicy bits, storming the MPP and finding him. Yuri Semetsky, the man who was here with Captain, and he shares his story. They reached the monolith and he made a wish for the zone to disappear, and he was blinded yet immortalized so he may relive his many fates for a lifetime. And Captain, he wished to become one with the zone and thus was transformed into an artifact, the most powerful one in the zone. Yuri claims it's too dangerous to find him now and suggests that S.T.A.L.K.E.R turns back, but it's already too late. S.T.A.L.K.E.R finally pushes through the control center where he finds them, the men responsible for the zone, who offer to show out their secrets to S.T.A.L.K.E.R. The first one being that they're ugly. They believe they are gods that will never get along with humans, so they wish to close off the center of the zone. S.T.A.L.K.E.R tells them to fuck off and they teleport him away. Epic. S.T.A.L.K.E.R finds himself in front of a crystallized formation, a mind crystal. He speaks to it, but it claims his brother is no longer there. But with the power of an artifact given by Semetsky, S.T.A.L.K.E.R frees his brother. And after so long, literally too long, Captain stands in front of us. But he's weak, and the zone's massive emission cannot be stopped. S.T.A.L.K.E.R has an exchange with him before giving him a personal teleporter to the swamps. And now he stands alone, in front of his biggest challenge yet. Lack of playtesting. This is unironically the worst part of the entire mod. The last fight of the ending is so poorly balanced that you literally cannot complete it without cheating. Like, look at this! fuck did I just play? And after I finally thought I was getting somewhere, my guy just fucking fell over. Fuck is that supposed to mean? Apparently there was a timer that didn't even show up. My immersion is completely gone and I hate every single second of that. Didn't even give you a gauss rifle for the entire game and expect you to beat this? What the fuck? So I cheated myself, Yuri Semetsky's healing exo and a gauss rifle and I gave it another chance. Okay, I had enough. What the actual fuck? Finally getting to the end of my patience, you get a cutscene of Strelk in the death truck being delivered directly to Sidorovich in Shadow of Chernobyl. Well, the story is incredibly long. I tried to summarize it and that's the best I could do. The plot of the game gets lost several times in between all the bullshit you do, but that's just Stalker soup mods. You've been warned. So what do I think of it? It's alright, I guess. Side quests were something that this mod didn't do right. They existed and were playable, but the dialogue itself was broken, like all of it. The quest descriptions work, but without clear instructions some were just impossible, and there was a variety of them. From helping Snitch with a fetch quest to finding, killing and dragging a super bloodsucker back to Svibov, which I found amusing because of the ragdoll physics, to finding that Varangian guy who wants you to run around Agroprom Underground completely naked for no reason. It's a story of what could have been. If anyone is in C-Con's Discord and can message the guy Lilop, or Lelop, I don't know, that the quests are not working, maybe he could fix them. As much as I enjoy the mod minus the ending, there are a few shitty things, like how squishy the quest NPCs are. You literally have to rush ahead and do all the work so they don't get insta-killed. The grenades are also too fun. And, well, NPCs being completely blind or just plain broken, and don't get me wrong, it's still amusing. The garbage being literally the only place where artifacts spawn is kind of an L. The horrible underbarrel grenade launchers and just guns not working sometimes. But I guess that's the features of this mod. Overall, the mod is quite good. I can recommend people to give it a try, but be warned that you'll have to cheat some bits and half the quests have no translation. Like most soup mods, you might get stuck and be forced to look up a guide in Russian, which might be a bit hard for non-Cyrillic plebeians. It's challenging, it's Stalker, and there's stuff to do and experience. If we count the highs in the mod and I close both of my eyes about the end, it's a really solid experience. Well, this video turned out to be much longer than I expected, and if you're still watching by now, thank you. I really hope you enjoyed me rambling about Stalker for way too long. Feel free to write what you think down in the comments. I'm not gonna tell you to like or subscribe, I'm not your dad. And if there is anything you guys wish for me to review, simply write down in the comments as well. For my next video I have planned to cover Lost Alpha, hopefully it doesn't take 10 years to make, and thank you again for your attention. Salutations.